Hi, Celine here, and welcome to my channel. I'm an author, I'm a life coach, and I'm a breast cancer survivor. And I set up my channel really to share all that I have learned through my own life challenges and support anyone who is going through a difficult time. I really believe we're all here with a very unique, specific destiny and gift to fulfill on earth. So that's what I would love to see for you. That's what I'd love to see for everyone. I've experienced huge transformation and change in my life, and I really do feel on purpose every day, no matter what's going on. I just feel very anchored in my truth and who I am. And yes, I just wish that for everyone. So I want to share today my tip number 3 for living your best life. And a lot of these tips, I don't overthink them. They generally come to me. I wake up and they come to me very intuitively. So this morning I woke up and they're usually tips I need to apply in my own life. But I want to share my perspective and maybe give you some food for thought as well. So the tip today was commit. And it's really about, what do we want to commit to in our lives? We often hear, particularly if you're in a relationship, you're committed to the relationship, to your marriage, to make it work. We know we need to commit, to make commitments, to follow through. Maybe similarly with a job or your career, someone might say, I'm going to commit to this job for another year or whatever, or a business, and see where it goes. So it just brought up and made me think, well, do we commit to our lives in the same way? Like, are we all in this lifetime, or are we just dabbling around when it suits us? And I can say for sure I've done both. I've often just sat back and thought, maybe had a few dreams and ideas and thought, no, they won't happen. They're not for me. I didn't commit. I maybe got to the first stage and then I sort of opted out. So my experience really is with, dreams or images, or we did a lot of this in the coaching course I was in, and it was actually, there was one lovely exercise I remember doing when I was working with someone else where we basically sort of visioned, or we drew the sort of picture of our life, or whatever image that came to us, whether it might be, I drew the location in a place where I was living in a little house, and I have this, and it's still there, a very clear image, and I always, and I feel I'm taking action towards that, but my sense and my understanding and how it's been for me so far is, yes, we commit, but it's a co-creative process. So it's not like we demand and say this is what's going to happen, but we have to show up. Nothing happens until we show up, commit, and take action. And it just was a very strong message to me today. I believe it's something I need to be reminded of. There are examples. It's interesting. I don't think I did commit much, as in take that sort of first step and sort of own it. For many reasons. I think a lot of reasons we don't do it's fear. It's fear of not being successful, fear we'll be too successful. I think Marianne Williamson, the author, says something about that in one of her books, A Return to Love, us about us being afraid of how great we can be, of our power. And I think that's true because I know myself, I wasn't aware of my creative power all of my life until very recently. I think we can be afraid of the unknown. If you're committing and dreaming and imagining something really new and a new venture and a new life and a new business, it can be scary because we've got to trust this process as well as taking action. And it may or may not work out the way we see it. And I suppose that's part of the co-creative process. We have to be open to that and know that something greater than us knows the sort of destiny and higher purpose we came here with that we may have forgotten. And that's sort of keeping us on track. It's like our GPS. And I truly believe, I know it from experience, that when we do commit, the universe, source, whatever, literally comes in to support us in fulfilling that destiny. I've experienced sometimes like such a force that I didn't expect, and an energy, and sometimes I can get a bit, oh my God, is this really happening? I'll share one small example of, it was after actually when I was recovering from breast cancer, and I knew I wasn't going back to my old career. I worked in sales and marketing, and I was on the road a lot, and I had loved it for many years, but I just knew I couldn't. It wasn't the time. It was just that time was up. That chapter was over. I'd got many, many messages around that. But I was also very afraid, really, and really lost as to what next. And I do believe I was afraid to dream of what might be possible. And just to show you some of how the universe conspires to support you when you do commit, I did know that I wanted to do something different, and I was meant to do something different. And I did feel it was around a lot of the life experiences I'd had. Breast cancer was just the latest one, but there were many that I knew there has to be some purpose and meaning. Maybe I can share and support, and maybe, work with others to help them through their challenges. But I didn't know how that would look. So I was open, and the first thing that happened was a girl I knew from when I was very young in school appeared out of the blue. I think it was just before I got sick. I hadn't met her in years. And she mentioned this course called The Artist's Way. It's based on a book by Julia Cameron about getting in touch with your creativity. And I thought, yeah, look, I don't know what else to do, and this looks like, a good first step. So yeah, out of nowhere, no coincidence, she appeared to tell me about it. Then I started the course, and the woman, a fabulous lady, who actually had been a deputy principal in my school, hadn't seen her in years either. She got me on the path of doing the life coaching, which she had done herself. So that sort of helped me in terms of my own self-development and maybe developing the skills that I could use to help others. It was she who nudged me to write, because during the course of the course, I talked a lot about what I was learning. So that got me writing. I never imagined or thought about it, but only now I can see I used to like writing in my old job, but it was in a very limited way. But I used to love getting into, if it was just the topic wasn't necessarily a topic that really enthused me. So I did start writing, and I actually started writing my story. This is what's interesting. So I thought this was the book I was going to publish first. I didn't know it was going to be a book at all, but I started writing, and I felt it just pour out of me. Very cathartic, stayed at it day in, day out for 6 months. I really did commit to it, even though I didn't know what the actual outcome would be. I then started asking around, I knew nothing about writing books or publishing, and someone mentioned a woman who had set up a publishing company where I live. I contacted her, had an appointment with her. She was really encouraging, but she set me off on the path of writing fiction. And I was like really confused, thinking, but here I am with the draft of a book, my life story. This is what's really so important to me, and I've just put so much into it. But I still I said, okay, this has happened for a reason. So I did. I went home and I started writing fiction, which I had not a clue what I was doing really. But yet, I could hear the voices of characters, and just, it did come, there was a plot and a story, and it came. And then I came across an article in a local newspaper about a local journalist or a writer who was developed a course called The Craft of Writing, and he was putting it on. So I rang him and I signed up, and that was amazing. He was so supportive. I learned so many, techniques, skills about the whole techniques and the craft of writing, which stood to me. And I did go ahead and I launched that book. And for a long time after, that was in 2019, I was still, sometimes today I'm still, what was that about? Because it was never my intention. But I can see for so many reasons why it happened that way. Firstly, I needed a bit of distance from my story, my personal story, because I was only after coming through breast cancer. So I needed time and space to process it, to grow, to develop. And I did go back to it then a couple of years later. I went back to, it was during the first lockdown, I think in 2020. I finished editing it, but I had a lot of space. I'd learned a lot of new skills from doing the writing course. The timing of it, I don't think was right. It's available to pre-order now, but it's being published next year. Just for many reasons, I know it has worked out the right way, but I did commit, and even though I wouldn't say being thrown curveballs, I've been hugely supported. And that's, I suppose, my point. That's the point I'm trying to get, is that when we do commit to whatever it is, the universe, God, source, when it's for our highest good and when it's aligned with the destiny that we came here for, there is no doubt. I have absolutely, can say 1000%, in every circumstance in my life, it just comes in full force behind you to support you. And it becomes sort of an interesting dance with life, I would say. It's amazing. It's something I'm just very love to talk about, because I just think it's wow. That's what it is, a dance. So yeah, I'm going a little bit off track, but just wanted to give that example. So it's a reminder to me again, and I hope a reminder to you. I think it's very timely at the end of 2021. I was going to say 2022. With only a few weeks left to go, to think about what is it you want to commit to in your life for the coming year, for the coming years, the coming months. Are you willing to bet on you? Are you really willing to take that chance and co-create with life and commit to really living the best life that you can? I just feel so strongly that now is the time on our planet for everyone who feels called to step up fully into the fullness of who they are and what they have to offer the world. I really believe the world needs us all to shine brightly. Everybody has such amazing gifts to offer. So I wish that for you at the end of 2021. I hope you commit to whatever dreams and ideas and whatever you want to create for 2022. And I look forward to seeing it and seeing what you share with the world. So thank you so much for watching. Just as I finish, you can click if you like my content. I'd love if you want to share any comments or feedback. That would be great. Any topics, if there's anything that you would like me to talk about or discuss, share my thoughts on. Also, if you would like to get a copy of my free guide, 6 Signs You're Getting a Spiritual Wake-Up Call, you can just click on the link in the description box. I also have links to other sort of content and products there, and I look forward to staying in touch with you. I wish you well, and until the next time, take care. Bye.